my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what have we got to review this week?
Well, Dave, just before we get into the review, and it is my pick, everyone, so we are in for a glorious cinematic experience. I like the fact that my shoulder injury song has been well received across the podcast network. It's been well received, and people have even been known to hum the song, Dave. It's amazing.
It was a good one, and we obviously kept it quiet. We didn't sort of mention it on the Patreon Discord server or anything, did we? We just dropped the episode and let people experience it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely still sticking to the lyrics there, Dave. Some of the finest we've ever seen, you know. But anyway,
I'm sure Lennon will be, rolling in his grave, sort of thinking, "Oh, if only."
Well, the thing is, because we're...
Right, I was listening back in the edit, and I was joking, saying, a bit of a black lace sort of number, and you can imagine it being sung at the social clubs or at Blackpool or something like that, and then you said something like, "Oh yeah, the old grannies will be singing along," and then someone will say, "Oh, you know what it's about, don't you?" But your lyrics are literally begin my life's journey to wank every day. I mean, we're not talking subtle nuance and innuendo.
Is it Kleenex door lock?
Drop the shoulder. Oh, no, I don't know.
I was raving last week that I knew the fucking lyrics off by heart, but it's still a cracker, Dave. But what I was going to say, you say about Lennon, Dave, usually we are a team, and we always we work together as a team. And if we were going to bring this out, I don't think we're going to have a problem with, is it going to be Phelps or Horrocks? You'll be like, no, it's just Phelps. Don't fucking associate my name. We're never going to have which one comes first, Lennon or McCartney. We're not going to have a Yoko Ono situation here, Dave. So I think you'll be safe with that one. I don't think it's going to take off as much as I thought it would, but it was good fun, and I fucking loved it too much, actually. But anyway, this week, Dave, we are reviewing, and this is a movie I have no clue about at all. I just spotted it on IMDb because it was a suggestion a few months ago, and then I've seen a couple of things on Prime, and then I went on a little rabbit hole on Google and everything. And this one stars David and Peter Paul, otherwise known as the Barbarian Brothers, Dave. This is from 1992. It's not their first movie, but this one just looks so stupid. And obviously, the first movie was called Barbarians. I was like, I'm not watching that because that's just going to be fucking sword and sorcery bollocks. But I sort of wish I had picked it now. This one's called Double Trouble, Dave. Out around the same time as Double Impact. I don't think Van Damme even has anything to worry about. So, Dave, had you even heard of these guys, heard of this movie? What have you found out?
No, definitely not. And I will just say The Barbarians is definitely on my radar now.
What a movie.
So I don't have any nostalgia for this. Never heard of it. Even in all of the searching for most terrible action movies, this just hadn't come up at all. And so it's a bit of a surprise. And then I go to next, okay, well, would I have watched this at the time? And I don't think I would. I think 92 was a bit of a crossover year for me, where I think I mentioned here, I got a dodgy copy of Reservoir Dogs around the mates watching that, and just having my mind blown, and it was almost like a transition. And this type of action movie, in my head, I associate it much more with the 80s. So had I even seen the trailer for this, I don't think I'd have watched it at that time. I had a bit of a kind of black spot in my action movie watching career. I picked it up soon after that. But I also think, 92, it's the same year Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. And I think, I'll be honest with you, that definitely put me off watching Stallone movies for a while, for a good few years. And I think possibly action movies as well. So I would say possibly that kind of 92 to mid-90s time, I might have a few little black spots in my action movie catalogue here. So I might look in that range again, and just see if there are other action movies that I've missed out on at that time. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. I'd never heard of these guys. However, it's also just classic Chris Phelps fucking fodder, this. I think you got there before me on it with the rabbit hole of the brothers and the tragedy. So David Paul passed away in 2020. He was just, I think, 62. So Peter Paul, mid-60s, still training, not as big as they were, but then over the years, from the sort of early 90s where they had a little bit of a peak, they'd done a couple of things, but they'd always just been like celebrity bodybuilders, never actually competed in bodybuilding, but they were just so super strong, feats of strength, almost like circus acts, really, as brothers. But just the sheer look of them and especially in the 87 Barbarians movie, you can clearly see in this, they're still big, they're really fucking huge, but in the 87 one, they are mad, proper roid heads. So never
Allegedly.
Gold's Gym and Venice Beach, they are notorious for I think David Paul was able to press above his head 365 pounds, Dave, which is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, that.
He would warm up and get to 500-pound bench press like it's nothing. They was super strong. So it was all about that and the look of him, the hair, they're identical twins, and they were the first thing they were in was the Mr. T thing, DC Cabs. They were in that. That's where they sort of got a bit of notoriety in that. But yeah, never heard him. But what a sad story of these two guys, basically. And I think ever since they'd had that little bit of fame, just chasing it, they get into the 60s, they were still doing it. They're still training at the gyms. I've watched some YouTube videos on them. And I found it really interesting. But you are right. If we are not doing the Barbarian in the next 6 months, Barbarian, I've got another one there, which looks like an over-the-top rip-off as such. So it's not arm wrestling, but the truck drivers, and I can't wait to sort of watch it, even if we don't cover it. But yeah, I had to pick some shit, Dave. I picked some good ones, 3 Men and a Baby and all that, great films. But this is completely left field. But again, it's in that Lauren Avedon thing of I'm fucking fascinated by him now as well. I really am fascinated.
They are fascinating characters because you watch it, and especially, like you say, that Barbarians movie, they do look bigger than Arnie. And so it's really interesting that they didn't compete at all. And definitely, I don't know, maybe there's a thing about steroids, maybe, because I think certainly when Arnie started competing, it was okay, wasn't it? It wasn't legal, really it wasn't a bad thing to take them. So I don't know when that started becoming a thing, and whatever their reasons for not competing. So it's just like this weird phenomenon where you've got people who look bigger than Mr. Universe. But we'll get into it, I'm sure, in the movie. But the thing is, they are so big, it looks ridiculous. That fucking little cut off Detroit Raiders white top. I mean, it's just
it's like he's got women's clothes on. That's fucking Peter Paul, isn't it? He's got skin tight jeans
one of those
on,
exposing the midriff. And my word, how tight are those jeans?
I am telling you. I mean, Van Damme is notorious for the tight jeans, isn't it? And the fucking big, the big fucking ass sort of thing. But these are on the different. Well, Peter fucking David is anyway. David. Fucking David, what's he got? No, not Peter David. Peter Paul, David Paul. Peter's the one who's the fucking cop. He's a little bit taller than David, but you're right.
Yeah.
why is he wearing that? And he's got the same outfit on in the whole film.
The whole
This isn't
film,
it's
yeah.
It filmed over like a couple of hours. It's filmed over a few days, and wherever he goes, other than the bit where he has to put a suit on, we'll talk about that. But it's bizarre. He's literally got Jane Fonda's workout top on, and he throughout the whole movie, because it's like he's actually put her top on because it doesn't fit him. It's the most bizarre.
I was thinking Olivia Newton-John.
Well, yeah, possibly. Yeah. Physical. Is it physical?
Yeah,
let's
physical. Physical.
It's bizarre. But, oh, Dave, I can't wait for this. Shall we get into the trailer?
Let's go.
When David Jade became a cop, he was ready for the danger. Ready for the violence. The only thing he wasn't ready for...
Freeze. Me? Peter.
...was his twin brother.
You got all the bad chromosomes, not me. Come on, man, this isn't funny.
They grew up on opposite sides of the law.
You are a hell of a cop. You're a hell of a liar.
Peter, do you ever tell the truth?
Not if I can help it.
But now they've joined forces.
This is your new partner.
No way. Yes way.
To crack the crime of the century.
International Diamond Exchange. On any given day, maybe $5 billion in diamonds.
Billion with a B?
And give the underworld a head-splitting dose of double vision.
Sit up here to make everyone forgive and forget.
Welcome, David.
Starring David Paul, Peter Paul, Roddy McDowell, David Carradine, Troy Donahue, Star Trek's James Doohan, and introducing Colin Burnson. Double Trouble.
You two really do look alike. Shut up, Whitney.
Distributed by Columbia TriStar Home Video.
Peter Jade earns his living as a crook. During one of his thieving tours, a puzzling circuit board falls into his hands. He soon realizes that there is a counterpart to this plate, and with both plates you're able to open a safe on the International Diamond Exchange. The leader of the criminal organization, Philip Chamberlain, has taken possession of the other circuit board and also recognizes the connection and goes in search of its counterpart. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Well, I've got to say, Dave, the guys' hair, the twins, they've got to be a fucking
glorious,
wig, them, haven't they? They've got the hair is like the greatest mullets you've ever seen. They've got the square jaw, obviously, because they take the vitamins. They've got that proper beefy look. Both of them must be nearly 300 pounds of pure muscle, mustn't they?
Yeah.
They are in great shape. But the cop one, Peter, is fucking nonsense. Like you just said before the trailer, he's got this sweatshirt on, which doesn't fit him. It cuts down to the waist. You can see his midriff. So obviously he's got a six-pack. He's got these jeans on. And then when he meets his brother, like he is slightly taller than him, but which they say is a couple of inches, but they make him look around the same. But then his brother, it almost looks like it's Van Damme playing both parts because they are so alike. But they've got this weird, like, if you look at them now, you would think that they've had like Botox or something because they've got these weird puffy out cheeks, this weird smarmy fucking smile, and the worst fucking haircuts we've seen. I mean, they must be real, but the hair looks fucking horrendous. It's like Tarzan levels, in it, of a mullet. It is bizarre. And then he starts shooting his brother when he meets him, doesn't he? Because he's come out of jail and all that. Yeah. I have no explanation other than the fact that this movie is fucking glorious, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree. It's awful, isn't it? But it is one of these classic low budget. There is nothing innovative. There is nothing new and fresh to see here. This is basically chucking a whole bunch of action movie tropes into the mincer. You know, you've got the angry police chief, you've got the the by the book cop who has to work. It's a buddy cop movie, isn't it? I do think at the start of the movie, I'm thinking, oh my God, you can't tell these two apart. By the end of the movie, I could very much distinguish between them. I think Peter, you say about the Botox, there's definitely something going on there with Peter. He's had some work done. Because when you look at his brother David, and I love the fact that their actual names are Peter Paul and David Paul, and their character names are Peter Jade and David Jade.
Yeah.
It's like, let's not, we know these guys can't act, right? Let's not confuse things. Let's not use names that are not their real names. We'll change the second name. Now, that'll make it different. But yeah, so it's the fact that Peter, like you say, he is a little bit taller, but he has almost this, I don't know, it's like a Love Island kind of look to him. With the cheekbones, they look a bit like artificially puffed out a bit. And David, who's like the kind of jokey, bit of a chancer, he's the criminal, but he seems to be the fun one. He doesn't look like he's had work done. So I think that's how I ended up differentiating the pair of them. But I love the fact that they've just got, they've gone solidly to embrace all of the tropes. And, Peter being the by the book cop, and not, he doesn't care initially that it's David. There's no actual love shown, really, is there, between the brothers? Peter, this could be, for another 48 hours or something like that, with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. I just think, honestly, Chris, for most of this movie, I've just got my jaw on the floor thinking, I can't believe what I'm watching here. But yeah, it is amazing. The hair is glorious. I mean, this is 92. If you think about it, you're coming fully into the Britpop era there, but not for these guys. I mean, what was Nirvana's first album? Oh, not the first album, but their commercial Nevermind album was 91, I think. So everyone was going, more down the grunge route in terms of the mainstream, if you like. Again, not these guys. Give me the full-on business at the front, party at the back mullet. Amazing.
But even when Peter goes back to his fucking apartment and he's got the kitten, which they've just he's arrived with, he puts the cat litter down in the sink, goes in his bedroom, and then starts making the most random noises. I don't think I've heard a man make them noises since fucking Marcellus Wallace was in the fucking bottom of that thing. God. It is unbelievable.
But do you not think that was a weird... that was like intentionally like sex noises, I think. And I don't mean like actual sex noises, but like comedy, because the woman on the other side of the, in the other apartment was sort of listening along, wasn't she? And so I feel like it was a little cheeky, oh, he's having a good time in there. But no, he's just bench pressing. And a fucking lot at that.
I didn't get any of that, Dave. I just was like, this is just weird. You don't make them noises when you're training. I know these are like proper super freak gym guys, but it was just weird. But it went on for too long, didn't it? It went on for like ages, and I'm like, well, he's getting his fucking workout in, because when he goes to sit down, he does this weird thing, like he's fucking, all of a sudden his veins just pop on his wrists, and his forearms, and that. It's bizarre. They have to get the gym bit in anyway, don't they? Because the size of them both. But yeah, the film is fucking stupid, and his brother is just such a bellend, isn't he? Like, he gets him.
Which one, though?
Well, yeah, they're both. Well, the one who's the smarmy, like ex-con, he's in jail. Supposed
the diamond thief, David.
Yeah, David, and it's when he's in. He puts him in jail, and then they look identical. So David's in a jail, in a holding cell with about 10 to 15 blokes, and Peter turns up. They look they are identical, aren't they? Hair, everything. But Peter has to say to everyone, "Hey, everyone, this is my brother." No fucking shit. No wonder they've all been arrested. They're some of the worst criminals we've ever seen. Can you not clearly see that they look exactly the fucking same? And then it looks like they're all going to beat him up, or they're getting a bit friendly with him, Dave, one or the other. But that is it is so fucking stupid, that scene. I'm like, you can see that you're fucking brothers. You've been talking to each other. They can hear you in the cell. This is a holding cell. This isn't a private room. The conversation is about what you're doing, your brothers, what you've done. Honestly, I was fucking pissing myself laughing on, we don't need you to to basically fucking show the audience. It just didn't make any sense, that dialogue.
Oh, I don't know. I've got a feeling that this is not your top talent of writing, is it? I mean, this is, let's get these guys on screen. Oh, what's big at the minute? I mean, 92, you're still talking, I mean, it was what, 3 or so years from when Lethal Weapon was absolutely massive. And it's just a massive cash grab, isn't it? And it's just, let's get everything together. And I think, again, there's no subtext to this. It's all just text. It's all just show everyone everything you need. Like you say, you've got all the criminals there. They can't hear. They can't recognize the fact that this guy is an absolute spitting image replica of the cop who's put them in prison.
Yeah.
They have to communicate to us, the audience, oh, look, hey guys, this is my brother. And like you say, probably, I don't know, maybe a bit of beating up, maybe a bit of fun times, maybe a bit of both. But yeah, no, there's no nuance anywhere to be seen in this film at all.
It's fucking brilliant. It is. It's just ridiculous. It's so funny because when you, like, the dynamic between them, like, they're so smarmy, and just the way they talk to each other is just stupid, isn't it? It's like, Peter's like, doesn't like his brother, and then there's a few bits where he's like, well, what are we going to do? But so he's gone in prison, and he's got him, and he's done all this fucking thing. Oh yeah, he's my brother.
After shooting him in the arm, but it's just
after shooting him in the arm,
inconvenience.
Yeah, after shooting him in the arm, but then next minute he's his fucking partner. What is the logic, Dave, to that? What is the logic to him being his partner? He's a fucking career criminal. I know he knows this group of people and all that, but honestly, I'm like, I don't understand this at all. This plot device doesn't work for me. They just get this out, and it is, like you said before, it's fucking 48 hours, really, isn't it? Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. It's that whole thing of like, let's get him out. Probably 8 years too late. I do like the fact that Peter drives an old Camaro, though, Dave. An old school fucking beat up cop car. But yeah, I don't know what to say. Because it's fucking terrible.
It's terrible, but it's sort of brilliant as well. I've got to put my cards out there. Just going back a bit, you were saying about the fucking cat litter. The thing is, Chris, I've got a cat, right? And I do have a cat litter. I don't want those people who's just like, off you go, cat, go and shit in everyone else's garden. Right? So I do have a cat litter. If I don't change that fairly regularly, it fucking stinks, right?
Yeah.
Peter has just put in his sink, because he's got, this kitten. People were taking the piss out of him at the precinct and whatever. I mean, the size of him, there's no way you're fucking taking the piss out of him. But putting it in his sink, it's like, don't you need to use the sink? But you know what it gave me flashbacks of? Stone Cold. When he was making the weird concoction for his little Komodo dragon thing. I don't know why. I don't know if it was a direct takeoff, but it made me think of that.
Oh, that was awful, that bit as well, wasn't it? Because he said in real life, they'd be dead, wouldn't it? The lizard would be dead.
Probably.
Dead. But yeah, the whole, like, interaction. So, like you say, we've got fucking Pete in the whole Raiders outfit and his sweatshirt, and he's got the suit on and everything. And they've got them, and David's got the suit on, that, like, old school 80s suit where it's like a big V into it, because they're just so big. But they're like throwing people around like the B.A. Baracus as well. It's nonsense, Dave. I mean, again, there's a bit where he gets that guy who's in his apartment and he puts him on a Vida fucking weights bench and all that. They were proper getting like this protein in there. They were getting some product placements. But I am just fascinated by the hair because I don't know whether that's real or not. I don't know whether that's real.
The hair is glorious, and yeah, I'm just thinking they should have done. About the protein powder, they should have had a whole criminal escapade based on, protein bars or something like that. Just made everything unashamedly about weightlifting. But you know what I find strange, Chris? I mean, I can't actually find the budget for this thing. Guessing it wasn't stellar. Guessing it wasn't like something like Lethal Weapon or what have you. But there are some recognisable faces, aren't there? So there's James Doohan, who's Scotty from Star Trek, most famously, and it was only through coming to this movie I'm like, oh, he's not actually fucking Scottish; he's Canadian.
Yeah, I thought he was Scottish. I did.
It's like, and I know no one actually speaks like that, but I thought it was like a television, for the American audiences type of Scottish. And I'm like, oh, he's fucking Canadian. I feel massively cheated. But also you got Roddy McDowall there. I don't know if you recognised him at all, but, I used to love Planet of the Apes. In fact, we've not covered any of those, have we? He was one of the main sort of characters in that. You've got fucking David Carradine in there. Again, they haven't wasted any time with the... Roddy McDowall actually gets, a different name, Philip, but David Carradine is Mr. C. So they haven't wasted too much time dreaming up some new names for the characters. But to actually get these people into this movie, I think is quite impressive and does set it apart a little bit from where I think this movie should be. I mean, this should be like some fucking trauma, people who you've never heard of and never likely to hear of again. But yeah, getting these to, this collection of actors together is pretty impressive.
It is, but also, Dave, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pull you up on the actors you've named off there because you forgot someone who I watched as a kid religiously and into my teens and into my fucking 20s and 30s is one of my parents' favourite shows, unfortunately, is Dallas, Dave. So I've watched Dallas back to front, left to right. But we've got Steve Canale, who's actually Ray Cribbs as well, the illegitimate brother of Bobby and J.R. Ewing, if you don't mind, Dave.
Oh, really?
Dallas from the start. Yeah, he's the guy, Kent, who goes down at the end. He's got like the grey hair and the moustache, and he's sat there at the table and starts like whacking the thing down. He's from Dallas, alumni, Dave. And we've got a guy who did a parody of Jerry Springer. I used to watch he's the guy, the cop at the start who Peter throws like BA into the slings and that. What was it called? Something Dietrich it was called. And it was just a piss take of Jerry Springer comedy one. I used to watch it all the time. But what gets me, right, is we laugh and joke about how slow I am and all this, like as a runner. When you've got a cop who looks like an absolute man mountain, he's got legs like about 3 times as wide as ours, he's got huge calves, like everything. Every time Peter runs after someone, one, it looks like he shit himself, and the other person's in slow motion because he can't catch him because obviously, one, he must gas anyway because he's got no stamina because it's all about the weights. But they're just naturally slow because of the size of him. And they were American football teams, but there's loads of scenes where Peter's chasing somebody, and it's like, this is the slowest fucking chase ever. Or when he's trying to catch someone himself, and they pan to him going upstairs, and it's not like he gives a shit. He's just like meandering along, like he's just got, doing a bit of a slow jog or something, like on a cool down or something. It never, it doesn't fit. It's not like Tom Cruise where he's going at 100 miles. Even Arnie used to run at full speed, didn't he, if he was chasing someone? And Peter's just
he's
like...
not the T1000 though, is he?
Yeah, he's not. No, he's not Robert Patrick. He's literally just plodding along with, he's going, stop, come back here. One of them. There's loads of bits to this are fucking stupid, honestly. Really are.
Yeah, but I don't know. They probably didn't do that, that often on the treadmill. I wouldn't have thought, but yeah, I think these days the bodybuilders probably do a little bit more cardio, don't they, than back in this day?
Oh, 100%. 100%. This would have just been pure weights, wouldn't it? Squats, weights, bench press, everything.
All your compound exercises.
Well, he does say that Peter says someone says something to him about taking steroids. And fucking Pinocchio there goes, I've never taken steroids.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck off.
All natural.
Yeah, what he meant was, I'm not taking steroids in the last hour. You know what I mean? Fucking no chance. You cannot achieve that body at all by that. Not that massive muscle. Not a chance.
No.
Fucking no chance.
Definitely not.
Fucking nonsense.
I do like the fact they've tried to go with a bit of a story there. I mean, the whole key thing is ridiculous, isn't it? It looks like they've got it from Sears or something, just some ridiculous prop. But I don't know. I like the fact they've gone with this whole diamond hoovering escapade. And they have to work together again. The brothers, they stick very much to the caricatures, if you like. Peter's the serious cop, and David's the kind of jokey criminal. They stick to them religiously. They don't really change at all throughout the whole movie. But there's something gloriously shit about this, Chris. It is a terrible, terrible movie. Objectively, it is really bad. On IMDb, it's got 4.1. I talked about Stop on My Mobile Shoot. I got 4.4, so this rate's worse than that. And objectively, I think it is. But it is in that so bad it's good kind of space. I can't deny it. It's just, there is something hypnotic about it. The fact that you've got these two beasts walking around the screen and they can't act, and you've got decent actors around them, like you say, Roddy McDowall, you got David Carradine there. I mean, he's not in it that much, but the fact that you've got recognizable actors, it is fascinating, and that's why. I mean, you were saying about the rabbit hole stuff. You can't help it; it sucks you in.
Yeah, it does. It does, because like they have a fight, and you know that none of them's going to lose because the twins. Because it's like, the Rock can't lose a fight, and it goes on for ages. But they're telegraphing them fucking punches for like 3 weeks ago, aren't they? Like one of them hits one, he stood right in front of him, then the other one goes. And then eventually they both just collapse on the floor, and it's like, come on. And you knew at some point that David, who's the bad one of the two, is going to pretend to be his brother, isn't he? And he gets into the prison to see Mr. C, David Carradine, and there's all that like chat, and you're thinking, David Carradine's going to pull out some of his kung fu moves or something, isn't he? He's going to be quite apparent, but he's literally one scene wonder, isn't he, in the movie? It's bizarre. He must have just got paid a day rate.
The budget wouldn't stretch to an actual full role, so it's just like, or maybe wasn't it Brad Pitt who he didn't get paid anything? There are certain actors who don't get paid anything. They just sort of turn up for the prestige or whatever it is. I'm sure it's Brad Pitt when he turned up in Deadpool 2. As the Vanisher, and he just does that one scene, and it's one of those where if he did it through the formal channels and was named and everything, it cost a ridiculous amount of money, so he sort of does it as a freebie. What's Ryan Reynolds' wife? Blake Lively. Yeah. So she's apparently Lady Deadpool, but again, she's not named anywhere. She just sort of did it as a freebie. So I think maybe that's it with David Carradine. Is maybe I'm sure he did get paid for this, but like I say, it commanded a higher salary maybe than the budget allowed.
Oh, fucking hell, Dave. I think he'd want to pay them by the end of it and say, just take me out of every scene possible. Yeah. But like at the end, the big like shootout and everything. So Peter gets captured, doesn't he? He's getting smacked about. And you know that there's going to be the double cross. His brother comes in. But when David is fighting that guy, who looks like just some normal bloke they've pulled from nowhere. These two are obviously big muscly guys. You're expecting some big muscly sort of opponents. No, you don't get any of that. You just get normal looking guys in suits. And David's fighting, and he obviously can't do karate kicks. He can't do a side kick. He can't do anything. but they're making him do them, and him and this guy are having like this karate kickoff. But because of the size of him, he can't get his leg higher than his waist, can he? So he's sort of like trying to kick him in the face, and the camera fucking man's doing all the fucking lifting on this one to make it look like a viable fight. It's taken that long for them both to get the legs up. You're like, this is one of the worst fights I've ever seen. And he's, to be fair, to do it in a suit, Dave's pretty impressive. I'll give him that.
I actually thought it was impressive. I mean, especially around this time, I would have had a perception that these bodybuilders just not flexible at all. And, wouldn't be able to do anything because they overwork the muscles and, they just wouldn't be able to do any kicks at all. But, probably better than fucking Ralph Macchio.
Oh, my God. And he's still going. He's in another Karate Kid film after Cobra Kai. Oh, my God.
What?
By the way, Dave, they filmed another one with Jackie Chan. Yeah, he filmed it. It's a continuation of Cobra Kai.
I think I did know that. I've never seen the Jackie Chan one,
No, it's not. It's with Thingy. It's with Will Smith's son as well.
Yeah, I think that.
You know what? Total segue, Dave. Total segue. I can't get into this last bit of Cobra Kai. I've watched 2 episodes. It seems so. Yeah. It feels so fucking telegraphed and so obvious what's going on, and like the whole. Like, it's like we said it when we've done the reviews, but the fucking kid, it's like the wrestling. Everyone's a baddie. And it's like Fast and Furious. Everyone who comes into it as a baddie, other than Kreese, everyone becomes a fucking goodie. And it's like, none of this makes any sense to me at all.
I think the problem is because they've expanded out the cast so much, and you've got the older characters, the legacy characters from the original movies. You've got the younger characters, the children who are coming in, and I think because it's got so big. I mean, Fast and Furious, that's not a bad call out actually, because it feels almost a little bit like that. I just love that first season when you got Johnny, because that's what Cobra Kai is to me. It's just Johnny, and he's this guy out of time, sort of plucked out of the 80s, and he just reappears almost in the modern time and can't wrap his head around it. That to me is why it made me sort of fall in love with Cobra Kai in the first place. But yeah, I've got through to the last episode, so there's like a mid-season break. You can't get through to the end anyway, so there's no need to rush. But yeah, and I started the last episode, and I think about 10 minutes in, I'm just like, I'm just not feeling this, and I'm just going to stop it, and I will come back to it. What I would say is, my son absolutely loves it. So I think what they're doing is maybe to continue the franchise, they're going to lean in more heavily to the younger characters and the younger storylines, and maybe that resonates with, if you're not too middle-aged bloke kind of thing. But yeah, for me, it's definitely lost some of its magic.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, completely took us off the segue there, Dave. I was just going to keep getting to talk to you about
it. It's a tangent if it's not anything to do with the movie at all.
Yeah, we needed that, I think. But yeah, what at the end though as well, like, that old bloke, for some reason, he's just nails in it. He capture them both. He catches Peter, and he's like, it's my twin brother, and like, yeah, good one. And then eventually they see him together. And what's weird is through the film, we've got these like little scenes where they obviously, saying how strong they are, they turn a car upside down, don't they? And then they do a couple of times. But then at the end, they're that strong. They turn a plane upside down, Dave. I know it's a small plane, but they're that strong. And logistically, I'm thinking, how have they done that? And it just looks like...
Without snapping the wings off or anything.
Exactly.
Just perfectly upside down.
Upside down the propellers. There's no fucking waste on the floor. They've done that. So we'll go with that. What is the end bit when the bloke's about to kill Pete and he's got the shotgun, and then he hears him and he turns, and then we get that stupid Benny Hill bit where it's obvious because of the diamonds. David's run off with the diamonds in the little fucking buggy at the airport. I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. And then it stops.
Isn't it?
It's just stupidly. I'd say it's stupidly perfect because the music, everything about this movie is terrible. It's like on a loop all the way through, but there's just something so I don't know. There's just something about it where you're like, yeah, and I've watched this twice now, Dave, which is unheard of for me for any movie. It's fucking unheard of because I think the first time I watched it, I was like, this isn't fucking right. I need to watch it again. And it is. It's absolutely stupid. But I'm so glad that I picked it.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I did like the sort of end bit because it again solidified the fact that these characters haven't grown at all. You know, the classic kind of hero's story that we're used to. You know, you've got the characters by the end of the movie, they're changed in some way. But yeah, not Peter and David. Like you say, he's going off in the slowest getaway car. I mean, it looks like Peter's going to catch him up. I'm looking at it now, actually. he's going to catch him up.
Get back here.
Where's he going to do? He's on the airfield. I mean, where's he going to escape to with all his diamonds and stuff? But yeah, utterly fascinating, Chris. But should we get into our final review?
Let's go. So, for me, Dave, this is a classic movie. This is VHS Strikes Back all over. The Barbarian Brothers are now up there, Dave. They're not Lauren Avedon levels. However, there is only about 4 movies they've done, and I'm pretty certain by the end of the VHS Strikes Back, we'll have done all 4 of these fucking movies at some point. So, I have really enjoyed doing this one. I really enjoyed watching it. Like I said, I've watched it twice, which is unbelievable. It's on YouTube. No surprises to anybody. 1 hour, 25 minutes. If you watch it on your phone, you can speed it up. I'd suggest not to speed it up because you need to watch this absolute classic B movie and some of the finest acting we've seen from 2 absolute vitamin-taking, gearhead, weightlifters. It's just ridiculous, an absolutely ridiculous movie. But Dave, I'm going to put this in Hill Valley because it deserves to be thrown off, never to be seen again. But the fact that it stars these 2 guys, the backstory, the nonsense that comes with it, that it just makes no sense that these guys have been given 2 or 3 movies with any sort of budget. They literally should be background extras when somebody goes into a gym, but for some reason someone saw something in them and gone, we need to give them a couple of movies. So they did end up doing like 3 or 4 movies. So utterly shit this movie is, but utterly glorious as well. So what about yourself?
Well, what I would say is anyone who gives Arnie some stick for his acting should watch this.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you can see, I mean, even from that early Pumping Iron, which, again, that's another one we need to cover at some point, but you can see that Arnie's got some charisma about him. It's not just about the muscles. And these guys don't have the same level of charisma. However, there's definitely something about it. And I watched this in a single sitting, which is not always easy to do with some of these movies. It is objectively terrible. That IMDb score of 4.1 is deserved. However, for what we enjoy, in terms of the buddy cop action movies being pure, I mean, it feels more 80s than 90s, doesn't it? Or it does to me, at least. And certainly the mullets help with that. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. Now, what I was thinking about was if I'm rating it on the, so bad it's good scale, well, does it line up with Samurai Cop? Well, probably not. I think I'd watched Samurai Cop 2 or 3 times before we recorded the last time. How does it compare to like Miami Connection? Yeah, probably not quite up at that level as well. I think the thing that makes those movies are there are some individual moments that just make it legendary. And I think in this movie, there's less of those standout moments, but it's just consistently ridiculous throughout the whole movie. So I think for that, I'm going to put it in the middle as well. I'm going to put it in Hill Valley. If this is your kind of thing where you're watching like terrible action movies, but I mean, it's so reproduced from every other idea in the genre, but it's also unique as well. And it's probably because of them, because you've got this oddity of having these 2, pretty much identical twins, even though, like I say, by the end of it, I could really separate them apart visually. But, and having them in this ridiculous setting, and you've got some recognizable characters. I mean, you got fucking Scotty as the angry chief. It's just ridiculous. So, yeah, it's Chris, I will definitely be watching this one again.
Oh, honestly, it's a classic. Anyone watching this is perfect. Anyone listening or watching on YouTube, actually, Dave, on our VHS Strikes Back YouTube channel, it's brilliant. It's just fucking nonsense. I'm so glad that I got you into this. And I knew when you messaged me and you said, oh, it's tragic about the brothers. I'm like, I've got him because I went on the same rabbit hole. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But Dave, bear in mind that this was my pick and what a treat that I've delivered. Just bear that in mind for your pick because it is your pick next. And what are we going to be covering, Dave?
Well, sometimes I do make a reactionary pick. I mean, I do still have in my mind that I will cover or will do at some point Cage 2. I need to know how Lou Ferrigno does after the first one. And so I think that is, it was certainly in my mind, okay. But then other times I'm just like, you know what? You get a movie in your head and you're like, how have we not done this before? Because it's such an iconic, fantastic movie that I've got to go with this. When the bottle comes around and it hits you got to choose the movie. Weird analogy there, I know, but this, Chris, is the 1993 action thriller, The Fugitive. Now let's get into the trailer.
I came home, there was a man in
I've not seen this for years, Dave. Maybe I think I've seen it once, but loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it a few times. I mean, it was huge at the time, wasn't it? It was one of your proper popcorn thrillers. But 93, I don't know why it sort of just falls in between. Maybe because it's an odd number. I don't know. For whatever reason, this one doesn't come up as much as some of the other great movies around the time.
No. But it's iconic as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really iconic.
From an old TV show,
Yeah, it was, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. We have a fugitive that's been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injury, is 4 miles an hour.
That is not the same take.
Give you a radius of 6 miles.
That's not the same take as in the movie. I've not seen it for years, but
no,
that he's half asleep there.
Of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse.
I was joking about the checking that this is the right trailer. But there's no like trailer guy or anything.
Done it again.
No, I mean it kind of has the feel. It's on the Rotten Tomatoes classic trailers.
Dr. Richard Kimball.
Yeah, there's another one.
Go get him.
Oh yeah, no, hang on. There's another one here.
Fucking hell.
Right, hang on. Yeah, I did it on the fly because obviously we're recording.
Just leave
off, right?
I'll do it.
Right, go with this one. This is the one because Harrison Ford.
I'm leaving that. I'm leaving this bit in.
Oh right, okay.
Right, Chris. So should we try the actual trailer, maybe?
Let's get into the trailer, then.
That's more like it.
This is it.
There was a man in my house.
Dave, why did you give us the wrong trailer? This is the right trailer. This one.
I was gonna do it, and you're like, no, it's all right. I've got it. I've got this.
And that I shot her.
Yeah, this looks like a trailer.
Yeah, this is a trailer, Dave. The official Warner Brothers website. Great film, this.
Oh, it is.
Worth watching the trailer twice, Dave, definitely.
All right, listen up. We have a fugitive that's been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injuries.
Back when
4
Harrison
miles an
Ford
hour.
used to care.
Yeah.
Give you a radius of 6 miles.
Someone
This guy
mentions
from the
fucking-
Goonies.
It is. And the guy from Bad Boys. He's the boss of the Bad Boys. But more than anything, Dave, if you mention Han Solo to him or Star Wars, that's when he fucking goes.
Yeah.
You might mention it in this. He's a miserable fucker, isn't he? And he's one-dimensional. I'm still throwing it out there,
Yeah.
Dave. This might change your mind.
I think this movie is more about Tommy Lee Jones than it is Harrison Ford, if I'm honest.
It's a cracking trailer, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to solve a puzzle here.
Yeah, I like that. I've not
Nice.
seen it. I think I've only watched it maybe once or twice when it first come out. However, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a great movie.
No, it is.
Really good.
And I'm hoping it stands up. And like I say, when you're discussing like best movies of the 80s and 90s, this one doesn't seem to come up that much. But I remember at the time absolutely loving it. Do you remember there was a sequel which wasn't as good, US Marshals?
Yeah, US Marshals, yeah. Another iconic VHS cover.
Yeah, definitely. I remember being at Blockbusters at that time. But anyway, yeah, so can't wait for that one, Chris.
No, good pick, mate. Good bit. And thank you. You've saved me from some sword and sorcery bullshit. So,
oh, it's coming. It's coming. Just not today. Maybe not tomorrow, but soon.
But yeah, a massive thank you. And I hope everyone who supports the podcast gets a bit of enjoyment out of this one, because it is a classic movie next week, Dev. I do appreciate it. So if you do want to support us, guys, please get over to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. If you want to email us, the VHS Strikes Back @gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @VHS Strikes Back. And if you do get a chance, please get onto your podcast catching app, guys, and drop us a review on the show. We do appreciate it. We'll read them out, good or bad. Or if you do want surf lessons, karate lessons, myself and Dave are always available for them emails as well, just in case we are offering that service again. So the roll call of honour, and a massive thank you to John, Mike, Lee, Helen, Dylan, Stephen, Trent, Dan, Justin, Susan, Timothy, Matt, Hales, Ken, Lucky Lulu Green, Herbs, Jack, Math, Blake, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. So thank you so much for all your support, guys. Amazing, amazing support as always. So Dave, have you got anything for us before we ride off into the sunset, my friend?
Oh, have I, Chris? I have been working on this one, and like you're saying about your little number, it's about 50 different versions, but I think the music had to stop, and I had to eventually settle on a version. So this is the one, and I've gone, like I say, I know it's 92, but for the feel, I feel like these guys are more rooted in the 80s, so that's the route I've gone down. So here we go. Rocking out here, Chris. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. I like it. I can imagine both working out, Dave, in fucking leotard.
When the baggy weightlifting man.
Yeah.
Here we go. Big sing-along chorus coming.
That guitar, Dave.
Yeah.
what to do when they gather out drunk and has spit rolls for two. Whoa, it's double trouble. Whoa, then breathe the muscles. Don't tell us.
Sounds good, this Dave again. This is not Motley Crue. Maybe Motley Crue. A little bit of Motley Crue. Very good, Dave. Love that. That's proper 80s. I said, did you get? I said it's a bit of Motley Crue type music.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you can just imagine, Motley Crue or Poison or something like that. All strutting around on the stage, and you got these guys probably just bench pressing on the sides.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I fucking love that one. And I figured out a way that you can get the big kind of chorus sound. There's like a little keyword that you can put in there, and so yeah, I would genuinely have listened to this back in the day, Chris.
Fucking brilliant. No, excellent, mate. A massive thank you. I can't wait for next week now. Honestly, I can't. I'm really excited to watch The Fugitive.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. And like I say, I haven't watched it for many years myself as well. But yeah, The Barbarians, though, or some kind of sword and sorcery joyousness that I shall bestow upon thee is definitely coming one day. But not today. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back.
That's odd. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go.
All right. Ding, ding.
Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Come on, ain't so bad. You ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool. Maybe you crazy something. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I seen you at 6 more.
I must break you.